Urgent Dallas Cowboys fans, do not miss this. What just happened? You won't believe this one. But before we reveal the big news, make sure to subscribe to the channel because here we bring you daily videos with the latest Dallas Cowboys updates. And to not miss anything, activate the notifications. Hey Cowboys fans, today we're diving deep into a story that's been buzzing throughout the NFL community. A story that could very well define the future of the Dallas Cowboys this season. If you've been paying attention to the recent headlines, you know that the team is in a pretty delicate spot right now. The Cowboys, long regarded as one of the most storied franchises in NFL history, are facing what many are calling a crossroads. The coaching staff, the players, the front office, all are under scrutiny as the team struggles to find consistency and results on the field. And at the center of this swirling storm of speculation is none other than head coach Brian Schottenheimer, whose future with the team seems more uncertain than ever. But what exactly is happening? Why has the pressure mounted so intensely on Schottenheimer? What are the implications for the Cowboys season, for the players involved, and for the franchise's long-term outlook? That's what we're here to unpack. We'll analyze the current state of the team, look into the historical context, compare it with other NFL teams, and speculate on what might come next. So buckle up, because this story is far from over, and it's shaping up to be one of the most intriguing narratives of this NFL season. Let's start by revealing what has been making waves. Reports and rumors are swirling that Brian Schottenheimer's position as Dallas Cowboys head coach may be hanging in the balance. We've seen the media pick up on whispers of a possible change, and the fan base is divided. Some believe that a coaching shakeup is desperately needed, while others argue that it's too soon to judge, that Schottenheimer just needs more time to implement his system and get the players on board. But what's the real story behind these rumors? Is there substance, or is it just noise? Well, the situation is complex. The Cowboys, coming off a season that raised expectations sky high, have had a rocky start this year. Results haven't matched the hype, and recent performances have left fans and analysts alike questioning whether the team is headed in the right direction. The offense, which once looked promising with players like CeeDee Lamb and Tony Pollard, has struggled to produce consistent points, and the defense, despite some bright spots, has shown vulnerabilities that opponents have exploited. The team's inconsistent play has led to a string of losses, and that's where the spotlight naturally falls on the coaching staff, particularly Schottenheimer, who took over as offensive coordinator this season after a stint as a coordinator with other teams. Now, what's really interesting is how this narrative is unfolding. Some insiders suggest that the Cowboys front office is contemplating a coaching change if results don't improve soon. The pressure is mounting, and with the NFL's ruthless nature, a few more setbacks could spell trouble for Schottenheimer's tenure. But others point out that such a move could be premature. Perhaps the team needs a bit more patience to see if adjustments can be made. It's a classic debate. Do you stick with the coach, trusting that he can turn things around, or do you pull the trigger early to send a message? This debate isn't happening in a vacuum. The Cowboys' recent history offers some valuable context. The franchise has always been a high-pressure environment, with a passionate fan base that demands excellence, especially after recent seasons that have fallen short of Super Bowl expectations. In the last few years, Dallas has gone through coaching changes, roster upheavals, and a series of close calls in the playoffs. The 2021 and 2022 seasons, in particular, saw hopes soaring and then crashing down at critical moments. Fans remember how the team was built to contend, yet the results haven't always matched the talent and investment made. Looking at the season at hand, the Cowboys currently hold a record that's far from dominant, and their offensive metrics are not as impressive as expected. CeeDee Lamb, the team's star wide receiver, has shown flashes of brilliance, racking up impressive yardage and touchdowns, but the overall offense fails to sustain drives or convert key third downs consistently. Tony Pollard has been a bright spot in the backfield, providing explosiveness and versatility, but even he hasn't been enough to carry the offense on his own. The offensive line, a traditionally strong unit, has faced injuries and inconsistency, further hampering the team's ability to move the ball effectively. On the defensive side, the Cowboys have shown flashes of the elite defense that fans have come to love, especially in the pass rush department spearheaded by Micah Parsons, who continues to be a game wrecker. Parsons' stats this season have been outstanding. He's racked up multiple sacks, forced fumbles, and has been a nightmare for opposing quarterbacks. Yet even with this defensive prowess, lapses in coverage and occasional breakdowns in communication have led to big plays for rivals. The secondary in particular has faced criticism for allowing big gains and failing to capitalize on turnovers. These issues highlight that the team is still searching for cohesion and consistency. Given all that, the question arises, is Schottenheimer the scapegoat, or is he the root of the problem? It's a nuanced issue. Offense has historically been a strength for Dallas, and many fans and analysts believe that the system and play calling need adjustments rather than a full-blown coaching change. Others argue that Schottenheimer's approach might not be meshing well with the talent on the roster or the overall team culture. The fact that the team has been inconsistent in key moments, like late-game situations, adds fuel to the fire. It's not just about individual plays, it's about strategic adjustments, game management, and leadership under pressure. Now let's step back and analyze what the statistics tell us. CeeDee Lamb, for instance, has been targeted over 90 times this season, amassing over 200 receiving yards and 8 touchdowns. These numbers are impressive on paper, but the problem lies in the context. Too many of these yards come from big plays, and the team struggles to sustain drives, leading to fewer scoring opportunities. Tony Pollard's rushing yards this season are around 600, with an average of over 4 yards per carry, which is solid but perhaps not enough to carry the entire offense when the passing game stalls. The offensive line has allowed over 25 sacks, which indicates issues in pass protection. On defense, Micah Parsons has already amassed over 10 sacks, making him one of the league's top pass rushers. His impact is undeniable, and he's often considered the cornerstone of the Cowboys' defense. Yet the secondary, including players like Trevon Diggs, who has been injured for parts of the season, has allowed over 2,000 passing yards, which is problematic. The team's overall defensive ranking is still among the top 10, but the inconsistency in key moments has raised eyebrows. So, how does all of this fit into the bigger picture? The Cowboys are a team with a rich history of success, but they're also a franchise that has faced criticism for playoff underachievement relative to their talent and expectations. Their last deep playoff run was in the 2021 season, when they reached the divisional round but fell short against a tough opponent. Since then, the team has experienced ups and downs, with coaching changes and roster moves trying to find the right formula. Historically, the franchise has shown resilience and the ability to rebound from setbacks. The 1990s dynasty, led by legendary figures like Troy Aikman, Emmitt Smith, and Michael Irvin, set a high bar for the franchise. In recent years, the team's identity has been built around a strong defense and a versatile offense. Micah Parsons has become the face of this new defensive era, but the offense, led by quarterback Dak Prescott and the likes of CeeDee Lamb, has yet to hit the consistent high gear needed for a Super Bowl run. This season, the team's struggles have been compounded by injuries, close losses, and sometimes questionable coaching decisions. The pressure on Schottenheimer isn't coming out of nowhere. The fans demand results, and the media is quick to analyze every game, every play, and every decision. The question is whether the coaching staff can adapt and overcome these hurdles, or whether a shakeup is inevitable. In terms of the broader NFL landscape, the Cowboys are competing in a tough NFC. Teams like the San Francisco 49ers, Philadelphia Eagles, and Detroit Lions are all vying for dominance, and each has shown the capacity to beat top-tier opponents. The NFC playoff picture is shaping up to be highly competitive, and a few more losses could push Dallas into a more precarious position. Their current standing is still within reach of the postseason, but time is running out to turn things around. Now, considering the upcoming schedule, the Cowboys face tough opponents in the coming weeks. The next few games will be critical in determining their trajectory. Will they be able to rally behind their stars, like Tony Pollard and CeeDee Lamb, and find new offensive rhythm? Will Micah Parsons and the defense be able to elevate their play under increased pressure? Or will the coaching staff's adjustments be enough to keep the team afloat? What about the fans' reactions? Oh, they're all over social media, debating whether Schottenheimer deserves a second chance, or if a change is the only way forward. Some say that a coaching change mid-season would be disruptive, and perhaps it's better to give Schottenheimer more time. Others believe that the time has come to make a bold move, especially if results don't improve in the next few games. The emotional stakes are high, and everyone has their opinion, just like always with the Cowboys. Looking ahead, the franchise will have to make some tough decisions. Will they stick with Schottenheimer and trust that he can turn things around? Or will they consider a change, perhaps bringing in an experienced head coach or offensive coordinator with a proven track record? These questions aren't just hypothetical, they are shaping the narrative as we speak. The front office's decision will be pivotal, and the ripple effects could influence the team's future for years to come. And what about the players? CeeDee Lamb, Tony Pollard, Micah Parsons, each of them is playing at a high level individually. But football is a team sport. The chemistry, the scheme, the leadership all need to align for success. If the coaching staff changes, how will that impact the locker room? Will the players rally around a new leader, or will it cause further instability? These are critical questions that only time can answer. Now, to bring it all together, the narrative of the Dallas Cowboys this season is one of tension, hope, and uncertainty. The team has the talent, the history, and the fan support to make a deep playoff run. But internal struggles, whether coaching-related or otherwise, have cast doubt on their prospects. The next few weeks will be decisive. Will the Cowboys turn the page and establish a new winning streak, or will they continue to grapple with inconsistency and uncertainty? Before we wrap up, I want to emphasize one thing. In the NFL, nothing is set in stone. The season is a roller coaster, and sometimes a single game or a single decision can change everything. The Cowboys are at a crossroads, and their response to this crisis will define their future. Will they rise above it, or will setbacks lead to more upheaval? That's the story we're all eager to follow. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Dallas Cowboys news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick, and IT makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let's continue with the big reveal. Now coming back to the core of today's story, what does all of this mean for the Cowboys moving forward? Well, the truth is the team's fate hangs in the balance. The coaching staff, especially Brian Schottenheimer, now faces the ultimate test. Can they adapt, innovate, and rally the team before it's too late? Or will the mounting pressure force a decision that could reshape the franchise's future? It's a tense, unpredictable situation, and it's precisely what makes following the Cowboys so exciting and nerve-wracking at the same time. Looking ahead, the team's management will have some tough choices. If the results don't improve in the upcoming games, we could see a coaching change, possibly bringing in someone with a different philosophy or a fresh perspective. But if they decide to stick with Schottenheimer, it means they believe in his vision and want to give him more time to implement it. Regardless of what happens, the story is far from over, and every game will be scrutinized with a magnifying glass. In conclusion, this season for the Dallas Cowboys is shaping up to be one of the most compelling chapters in recent franchise history. Will they turn things around and make a deep playoff push? Or will the internal struggles and coaching uncertainties derail their plans? Only time will tell, but one thing's for sure. Fans, analysts, and players alike are all holding their breath, waiting for that next big move. And now, Dallas Cowboys fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Do you believe Schottenheimer deserves more time, or are you already calling for a change? Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Cowboys. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates. So stay tuned for the latest Dallas Cowboys news. Thank you for sticking with us through this deep dive. The NFL season is a marathon, and the Cowboys story is still unfolding. Keep the faith, stay passionate, and let's see what the future holds for America's team. Until next time, go Cowboys.